There's been days in this ordeal where I've just wanted to curl up in a ball. Where I've just wanted to curl up in a ball. Curl up in a ball.
I'm the holiday armadillo!
Curl up in a ball.
Okay, so this is an amazing story. For those of you who don't know, England and Manchester City footballer and fellow Sheffield lad, Kyle Walker, has been exposed over the last few days and weeks as a serial cheat, a love rat, and that's no big deal, is it? I mean, what percentage of Premier League footballers on 200 grand a week haven't, on the odd occasion, when they're out in those Manchester clubs with all those scantily clad Instagram OnlyFans models throwing themselves at them, what percentage of them have, on occasion, misstepped? Done something that they shouldn't. But this is way worse. Kyle Walker has been living a double life for many years, raising multiple children with two different women, lying to them both. And again, even that is something that I wouldn't cover on the Daniel Boland show.
Who's Daniel Boland?
However, I do feel compelled now to cover the story because he's come out and given a weepy interview in The Sun. Cringe.
Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
Man City star Kyle Walker confesses to betraying soulmate and best friend Annie Kilner in astonishingly honest interview.
Astonishingly honest. Oh yeah, just how astonishingly honest was it?
How many children do you have?
23, 22 baby mother. Real bad man.
The Man City star is now living alone in a £3 million rented mansion.
Uh-oh. We all know what happened last time Kyle Walker was left alone in a mansion.
Situations have occurred.
Kyle Walker today admits he made idiot choices and idiot decisions over his secret child and bitterly regrets betraying soulmate wife Annie.
I feel that now is the right time.
He is now living alone in a rented £3 million property and accepts that having fathered a second child with model Lauryn Goodman, his marriage is all but over.
Now, I understand life is complicated. We are none of us perfect. We're all human, and it must be very difficult to manage being extremely rich and famous from a very young age like Kyle has had to. But that is really not my issue. My issue is the constant lying I'm going to show you in this video. It's unbelievable. The guy cannot tell the truth. And then when it's all finally exposed that he's living a completely double life, he's lying to everyone.
I feel that my family, the children have been put through enough, and there's questions that need to be, answered within, my private life.
After all of the lying, all of the scheming, all of the years of deceit, of leading this double life, Kyle thinks that the best way to deal with it is if he goes exclusively to The Sun and gives a video apology to the world so that we all know what a good little boy he's going to be from here on in. It's absolutely insane. You're going to see some of the crazy dissociated stuff he says in this interview, but it really reminds me of myself, to be honest, when I was in like year 7 or 8, 12, 13 years of age, and I'd do something crazy at school and I'd have to go to my head of year and explain how I recognise everything I've done and I understand my future is in my hands and this is just not the way to go. I know literally what I did is wrong, but I just don't care. And that's the vibe I get from Kyle Walker here. He's in this, I guess a lot of people when they get this amount of money, 200 grand a week I think he's on more or less. When you get that amount of money and you've had that since from a very young age, I guess a lot of the time you're in this state of arrested development. Your brain doesn't really develop beyond your teenage years because, well, okay, I had 6 kids with 2 different women. They didn't exactly know I was having all the kids, but yeah, I've got 200 grand a week, so, as bad as things get, I can always call another hooker.
He also issued an apology to Annie, mum to 3 of his children, and now expecting a 4th. Kyle told The Sun, "What I've done is horrible, and I take full responsibility."
And, hurting my best friend.
I made idiot choices and idiot decisions. I can't begin to think or imagine what Annie is going through. I've tried to ask her, but there's pain and hurt. The man that's meant to love, care, and be there for her did this.
I don't know, maybe I'm being hypercritical, but that just to me sounds like dissociation. The man who was supposed to love and protect her didn't, and that's just terrible. Yeah, we know, it was you!
There have been days in this ordeal where I have just wanted to curl up in a ball and go to sleep.
That is one of my new favourite quotes. I just wanted to curl up in a ball and go to sleep. Oh Lord, you should have tried that sometime, Kyle. It would have saved you a lot of trouble. Too late for that now, Kyle. 5 screaming kids and a 6th on the way. 2 women looking to ring you for every cent you've got. Curl up in a ball and go to sleep. Yeah, the problem is when he wakes up and he unfurls like a giant sex flower.
This is Manchester City fullback Kyle Walker. According to reports, the incident you are about to see occurred on Sunday evening after the club's 2-0 win over Newcastle United. In a pub, Walker appears to expose himself in front of 2 women. You can see their reactions.
There's been days during this ordeal where I've just wanted to unfurl my trousers and get my knob out to random strangers.
Situations have occurred.
The only person to blame is me. I have roles and responsibilities that I am aware of, and I have made stupid choices. But I need to own up to my mistakes. I owe it to everyone. My actions have caused a lot of pain to a lot of people. I am sorry because, as a family, this isn't meant to happen. I'm a private man, but I accept that I am a public figure, and I need to address what I have done. When I met Annie at 17, I never envisaged my private life being like this. I never thought I would be a father of 6.
Okay, so what he's saying there, not too bad. He's saying I've got to own up to everything. Good. This is where it starts to go off the rails. A little bit.
In football, I have achieved more than I ever thought I would achieve. But to personally hurt what I truly believe is my best friend, that's what hurts a lot.
That's some Michael Owen level commentating right there. As a professional footballer, I have achieved all there is to achieve on the field. Off the field, however, there are many things I still need to work on.
How could I hurt someone I love so much? That's something I need to find in myself.
He knows he should feel guilty, I can tell you that much. How could I hurt someone I love so much? He is aware that something bad happened, but his demeanour is like that of a dog. When you find your dog with a pair of your shoes, they know that something's not right, that they've been naughty, okay? But they can't really comprehend why. I imagine a dog would say something similar to that in that situation. You know, if they could speak, they would say something like, how could I do that to my owner who gives me food and shelter every day of my life? How could I break their shoes, right? But then if you dug a little further and asked the dog, why don't they like the fact that you're taking their shoes and ripping them up? They would have no fucking idea.
I need to find out why I have done this and why situations have occurred.
Oh, I really need to find out. I swear to God, that is exactly the kind of thing I would have said at 12 or 13. A teacher's asking me, what are you doing? Don't you understand that you're the loser in all of this? You're sabotaging your future. And I would have been like, yep, I wish I knew. I've got to really get my act together. Anyway, let's get into the lies and what's actually happened. A bit of a timeline thing here. It's pretty crazy.
Kyle said he had known Lauryn since his early 20s. Despite her claims, he insisted that there had never been a relationship. But in April 2020, she gave birth to a son and later publicly named Kyle as the dad. He recalls ringing Annie from City's training ground to warn her before news got out, saying, "I've got to tell you something. I had a one-night stand with someone." He named Lauryn and then interrupted his wife's screams to add, "I've got to tell you something else." Annie yelled, "Kyle, no, I'm begging you, there can't be anything else," she said afterwards. "I didn't think baby. It was like a nightmare. Before I had time to think," he said, "she says she's pregnant and it's mine."
So just to be clear there, first of all, he's lied for years about not having a relationship with this woman, with Lauryn, the side piece, to his wife. He's lied to his wife about not having a relationship with her, and then he's only told her because it was going to come out in the press. She was going to announce that he was the dad of her child, and he had no choice. So he quickly told her before anyone else did.
Situations have occurred.
Kyle moved out of the family home to a rented £8,000 a month sex dungeon in nearby Hale, Cheshire. Annie later agreed to take him back for the sake of their children and admitted, "How can I hate the man my kids love so much?" Kyle vowed not to have any contact with Lauryn beyond ongoing financial arrangements. But in August 2022, Lauryn revealed that she was planning to relocate 245 miles from Brighton to set up home on his doorstep.
Now, to me, either that sounds like this Lauryn girl is a psycho bunny boiler following Kyle around the country, going to set up home right next to his house with his family, right? Or she believed that they were in a relationship, right? Those are the only two options. That's not a false dichotomy. Shut up.
Kyle said he met her at a solicitor's office to try to stop the move. He then met his son Cairo for the first time, and the couple resumed contact without Annie's knowledge.
That sounds absolutely wild to me. I mean, we don't know enough details, but it really does sound to me as though Kyle was trying to maintain sort of two families at the same time without either knowing about each other. And you'll see there are further details here which make it fairly clear that that was what was going on. He's Kyle Walker. It's mental. He's the captain of Man City. He's an England international. He's extremely famous. The press are watching him. They know he's got marital problems. I don't know. It just seems wild to me that he would even try to do anything like this.
In early October 2022, Kyle travelled to London for groin surgery and met Lauryn. He said, "It wasn't intentional or premeditated, but I slept with her."
So just bear in mind that this is 2 years after this woman has given birth to his child, and his wife, as far as she knows, he's having no contact with Lauryn anymore. Just financial things in the solicitor's office. "I don't want him moving near us. I've got to give money to the kid because he's mine," whatever. 2 years later, when he's supposed to be having groin surgery in London, he's still in contact with this woman. He hooks up with her with his bad groin and shags her. That is mental. It's mental.
A lot was going on. It's not an excuse. I'd ruptured my groin. I had a World Cup to get fighting fit for.
Yeah, I guess he needed to make sure the surgery had been a success, right?
But then he received the bombshell news that Lauryn was pregnant again.
You know, I only realised recently that these men that are going around getting all these women pregnant, I thought it was because they were just, didn't have much game. Do you know what I mean? They're getting a bit too excited. And it was, as they call it, an accident. We didn't mean it. We didn't want to have a kid. It just happened, right? But what I've realised is these men are just doing it and taking no precautions and hoping for the best. It's like the lowest impulse control I have seen. How is this happening? And then they're hit with the earth-shattering bombshell. Oh my God, my world was turned upside down. She was pregnant. How did it happen? You took no precautions. What are you talking about? Use contraception. Do something about it. What is wrong with them? Do they just think it's very difficult? It's not very likely or something? And also, when you're earning 200 grand a week, this guy makes £1 million a month. Do you not think that these Instagram models might have some motive, some incentive to have as many children with you as they can?
He recalled, "Lauryn told me at the end of October, early November. I remember going upstairs at the training ground when I got a phone call from her. I was with the physio at the time. I nearly fainted. I was just white. He said to me, 'What's the matter?' And I wouldn't tell him because I needed to process it myself.
Yeah, I'll bet that took you a minute.
I asked if we could scrap the session, and he just said, 'Fine.' I went into survival mode. I was like, what can I do now every day to make sure that I go home to Annie and the boys?
I went into survival mode. Fight or flight, or curl up in a ball and go to sleep. And listen to the way he talks about it. I had to make sure, what could I do to make sure I go home to my wife and kids every night? What do you mean? Because you've got such low impulse control that you can't stop yourself going out and shagging all the thoughts that you find in bars. I don't know, man. He comes across as a very, I don't know. Maybe he's addicted to chaos, or he's just not very smart. Because the way he talks about these things as though they just fall out of the sky, these situations, as though he's just been diagnosed with cancer. Oh, it's such bad luck. No, you got a woman. Your actions have consequences. It sounds like a 13-year-old talking.
When I was dealing with all this, I was still able to play football. My mum and my dad and my friends have asked me, how?
Did the 200 grand a week help?
But it was my release. It was 90 minutes, 100 minutes, 2 hours if you want to call it that, where I didn't have to look at that phone or listen to demands from a certain someone.
Oh, women, eh? Especially when they're the friggin' mothers of your children. Oh, yap, 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 nag, nag, nag. What are they like, eh, lads? Oh, when are we gonna see you again? Your children miss you. Tell me you're coming home.
I've tried my utmost to keep this under wraps, not because I'm embarrassed or ashamed.
Yeah, God forbid.
I try to be a private person. I take full ownership of the choices that I've made that have hurt other people. No one's put a gun to my head and said that I've got to do these things.
No one put a gun to my head. It's just meaningless, isn't it? They're just words coming out of his mouth. I'm sorry, like, we get that. We know that nobody put a gun to your head. What strange demands would they be? A gun at someone's head, have a sixth child, lie to your wife.
I have done it of my own accord, and I won't blame anything or anyone else in this situation.
Well, that's good. You know, at least he's not blaming anyone else.
It was me that did it. Me and Lauryn. We both did this.
Oh.
If I could go back and do it a different way, I would. I knew what was coming. The second child had been born, and the deadline was set. It scared me. The day after Boxing Day, Lauryn sent Annie an Instagram message telling her, I don't have 2 baby daddies, I have 1.
So with the second child, yeah, he didn't even bother to own up. His side piece beat him to it and wrote to his wife on Instagram, telling her that the father of her second child is also her husband. So 2 years before, he's got this woman pregnant who he's always denied he had any relationship with, and his wife has forgiven him, allowed him back into the house with the kids for the good of the kids, and then 2 years later, it turns out he's still shagging this woman. He's got pregnant again and can't even be asked to own up this time. The guy's irredeemably self-centered, you know. You can say what, you can come out now and say what he wants. I don't know, sex addiction, alcohol problems. I don't know if he's got any of these things. I don't know if he says he does. He hasn't said he does. So, to me, it just looks like he doesn't bother controlling his impulses, because at the end of the day, his enjoyment is far more important to him than the greater good of his family, his kids, whatever. That's the way I see it. I don't know if maybe I'm getting something wrong, but that's the way I judge it. You know, there are more evil people in the world, but yeah, these people do create chaos. They are antisocial. They do cause stress and problems for everyone, and yeah, I'd say it's inexcusable.
She also forwarded a photo of Kyle on a playdate with Lauryn and the 2 children in a park.
Intentionally or not, Kyle has a complete disregard for the feelings of his wife. Like, he clearly doesn't empathise on any level, truly, with her feelings. This is a woman, this is your childhood sweetheart. He's been with her since she's 17, since he was 17, I think. The person, and there's no trust there. Not, like, you can be a scumbag going around, shagging other women, getting them pregnant, but there's not even the trust to talk about the things you've done. You don't own up to anything. The side piece has to send your wife a photo of you playing in the park with your second family, which she doesn't even know about. She doesn't even know about the second kid. All she knows is that you met this woman that you never really had a relationship with in a solicitor's office to sort out childcare payments, whatever. That's all she knows. I mean, I don't know if you can imagine the pain. Like, imagine your husband or wife it just turns out they're leading a second life. They're just completely lying to you about everything. I don't know. I mean, and this is the thing for me. If you're willing to lie to the mother of your 3 sons, 4th on the way, lie to that extent, who can trust you? I mean, if you're willing to do that, what are you not willing to do? What wouldn't you do?
Kyle added, I knew something was coming when I landed back from the Club World Cup before Christmas because I had a conversation with Lauryn. She was screaming down the phone saying Annie's pregnant. I said she wasn't. It was none of her business. I felt I had to lie to her because I knew if I told her the truth, it was all going to blow.
So there you have it, from the horse's mouth. Kyle admits that he wasn't only lying to his wife, he was lying to Lauryn as well. She believed that he was in a relationship. She was going mental. She was getting hysterical because his wife was pregnant. So she was jealous. She believed that he was in had some kind of commitment to her, clearly. Unless, I don't know, unless we just believe she's some kind of mad bunny boiler. I don't know, but she's had 2 kids with him. So he's got some kind of relationship going on with her.
The pregnancy was the straw that broke the camel's back.
My little one goes to sleep with me every night, and to not have him, see that, or say bye on FaceTime or good night. I'm used to it, and I'm not one to get emotional about certain things, but I'm used to being away for a long period of time with him, with England or whatever it is in a World Cup, and you say night on FaceTime. So, but to know that I'm not with him by my mistake probably the wrong word, my choices, that's what pains me.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong about that. That just doesn't sound right. Doesn't ring true. Don't make me put my finger on it because I can't be arsed. All right? It just doesn't. It's off. Okay? Anyway, that's my snap judgment made about a person for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Share it everywhere. I want this to be the first 1 million view video I've had on the channel. No, whatever. We'll see. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and check out my Patreon channel. The link is in the description for videos that I can't really put on YouTube. And, well, we've got a couple of videos up there. I'm going to be making more this week. Well, yeah, have a look at that if you want to. Bye.
Real bad man.